Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So, I got something that I wanted to present to you guys, and really only the first few minutes, not even the whole entire thing. And we're gonna really just talk about the thought of settling versus not settling, and what struggle love is and what it isn't, and all of these sorts of things. Is that crochet? Anyways, here we go.
My thing is this: when people are in a real healthy situation, you're in a good situation, right? Your spouse loves you, they treat you right. You may not be a multimillionaire, but you have a decent way of living. And then you see the outside world, and then you bite the apple. And once you bite the apple, out of nowhere, you're the disease in your house. And now you want to be a multimillionaire. Now you became stagnant. Now your spouse isn't doing enough, and now your relationship is hindering you. But if you never saw and compared your life to those whoever else that you're seeing, you would be happy.
Can I answer that with really one simple, and I'm not saying that I agree with this, but I think the response is, when you know better, you do better. And so I think that sometimes when the haze clears and when, the scales come off your eyes, you're like, oh shit, I've been out here fucking around for a long ass time. I need to be doing something more. I need to be doing X, Y, and Z. So again, these are not post-marriage, conversations, but I think that is like the very easiest way to respond to that.
And my response to that response would be, no, because I've heard it, and sometimes, and I agree, but my response is, it's like, I understand when you want to do more, and if you know better, you do better, right? But we have to understand that more is greed sometimes. When you have something good, you don't need more. You can want more, you can desire more, but you don't need more. And 9 times out of 10, if more was really for you, you would have already been on that path. You would have already been on that journey. A lot of people lose everything chasing more, right? I'll give you a random example. A lot of people go to the casino, right? I was a heavy gambler at one point. It's not that I never lost. It's not that I never won. I actually won all the time. I hit every single time I went to the casino. The problem was I never stopped. So when I never stopped, by the end of the day, I was in the negatives. So that's how I feel like people look at life, and people look at, their life in comparison to. Exactly. I won every time, but I don't stop. So you end up losing it all. Because when you have enough, you never realize what's enough, because you're always thinking you can get more.
After you win, you end up putting it all in.
When you win, you keep playing, because the winning is if you get a little bit of a reward for doing something, you're gonna think there's more reward.
Give up.
I'm not telling people to give up.
Don't dream big. Don't strive for more.
No, I'm telling people,
the person that you're with for your own feeling.
I'm telling people, understand when you have something good, and understand what you don't have might be for your benefit.
And I may not have paused it. I'm gonna mute it, because that's all that we really needed to hear. You heard what she took away from that. He gave a perfect example of gambling. Gambling is exactly what it is. The reason why the example of gambling is so appropriate is because it is a gamble when you are always trying to search for something else. It brings to mind the old adage, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And I don't really hear that saying anymore as much. but it's highly appropriate. And just to break that down for those of you who might be young and not really privy to that saying, a bird in your hand is worth two that are in the bush. The two birds in the bush are birds you don't have. The one bird in your hand is the one that you have secured. But now two is better than one. Maybe. But there are two that you don't have. And if you were to chase the two, you've got to get rid of the one in your hand already. So you've got to release the security of the one bird in order to chase the two birds in the bush. And there's no guarantee that you're going to get those two birds. And if you never get those two birds, you've already lost the one. You understand? And so he's saying, if you're already in a good situation, if you already have what it is that you desire, and these things are good enough for you, and you're content. He's talking about the concept of being content with things as they are, being content with the circumstance of your life, being content with the relationship that you have with your husband, being content with those things, being content with the person, being content with the dynamic of the relationship and the health of the relationship and all of these different things. And so when you go around and you start looking at what other people are doing, what other couples appear to be doing, and then comparing your relationship to their relationship, that's where you go off track. Because it's not always worth it to get something else. It's not always worth it to leave a situation that you're in, that you were content in, actually, to chase another situation that you think is better for you, but it isn't. It isn't better for you. This is actually a worse situation because you only were looking at one type of benefit that you could get from it. But what you missed was all of the cons, all of the traps, all of the lows that was attached to the high that you were thinking of. It's like leaving a good relationship with a hardworking man that makes $80,000 a year because the next man came along and he makes $900,000 a year. And because that guy makes more money than the man you're with, you automatically think your life will be improved by being with such a man. Only to find out that when you go over there to that man, the lifestyle and financially improved greatly, but the treatment that you received took a nosedive off of Mount Everest and landed into the Mariana Trench. So now you're sitting somewhere with the money and the lifestyle that you thought would make you happy, missing the guy that made $80,000 where he made you happy. He made you happy. Being with him made you happy. The treatment that you received from that man, the care, the love, the consideration that you received from that man actually was better than the money you're receiving from this man, because his treatment of you is so much worse. And when he brought up the example of gambling, that's exactly how hypergamy works when it's not working. That's how hypergamy works when it doesn't work, when you're not using it properly, when you don't know how to utilize your hypergamy in the proper way, in a righteous way. when you think monkey branching from one man to the next and one situation to the next is hypergamy and that's the way it is supposed to go, that's actually not the way. That's the lost value system way that hypergamy is supposed to go. Right? It's not really supposed to go that way. When it's not being utilized properly, his example of being at the casino and hitting every time. Somebody say, well, you can't hit every time you're at the casino. If you stay long enough, you will. If you're at the casino and you win a game of blackjack, or you win a poker game, or you win at the slots, or whatever it is, and you keep playing, you're going to win one of them times. You're going to win something. Or else gambling can't be addictive. You're going to win something. He said his problem wasn't that he didn't win, it's that he didn't stop. Never was enough. Never even knew what enough was. Always thought, you know what? I can hit it again and then I get a bigger lick because I got to. There's not even a real reason behind it. Because gambling is not a game of skill, it's one of chance. So there's no particular skill set that you can truly add to that that's going to guarantee you a particular outcome. This is how gamblers will win it big and they lose it big too. Because they don't stop. You don't get the lick, win a few $100s or win a few $1,000s and say, you know what? That's it. I'm going home. I'm going home. I got my lick. You know, I had fun. I played the games. I'm gone. Because I'm not going to sit here and lose all the money that I just won trying to win more money when there's no guarantee of it. And that's exactly what chicks do when they end their marriages, looking for the next big lick. This is where we are with the transactions, y'all. I just thought that this was very an appropriate conversation to have in light of the Cassie Diddy situation. And people will think, well, how did you make that connection? Because she left a man that was helping her. She left a good relationship for something that she thought would be a better relationship. And she got Diddy. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.